What is up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and today I want to talk about money, but more specifically I want to talk about career paths that you can pursue that can ultimately get you to a six-figure income. The fact of the matter is that today's society pushes people to go to college and to get a traditional 9-to-5 that will eventually lead to a six-figure salary with that job. And though this is an absolutely valid way to go about living life and making money, it is not the end-all be-all solution to your life, to your wealth, and to your career. The fact is that not everybody thrives in school, and college isn't always necessary. So today I want to break down some of these potential career paths you can explore, all of which require no degree. So let's get started. But before we dig in, I would like to thank the sponsor of this video, Cover. Now, Cover has sponsored a number of videos on this channel now, and the big reason for that is I think that it is an excellent service that can help so many gig economy workers. Now, what Cover does is they provide financial stability to the gig economy and to gig workers. One of the biggest downsides to going full-time in the gig economy is the lack of benefits and the lack of financial security that comes along with being self-employed in the gig economy. Things like paid time off, sick leave, and so much more are a thing of the past once you go to work in the gig economy. But what Cover can do is they can help subsidize some of these things and some of these benefits that you've become accustomed to. With Cover, you can have access to things like sick leave, paid time off, and an income guarantee. You can also have access to bookkeeping tools as well as a legal team in the case that your side gig hustle profile is wrongfully terminated. Cover is an excellent tool for any gig worker, and if you haven't signed up, I highly encourage you to check it out. If you follow the link in my description below, it will give you a free 1-month trial of Cover, and once that 1-month trial ends, the membership starts at just $7 per month. There is no commitment, there is no contracts, and you can cancel at any time if you feel as though Cover isn't for you. So if you guys are interested in supporting this channel, if you want to experiment with the financial safety net that Cover offers, then definitely check out that link in my description. Thank you, Cover, for sponsoring this video. I did not go to college. I was somebody who always struggled in school throughout my entire school career. In fact, in 11th grade, one of my teachers had called my dad and told him that she was concerned that there was some underlying issue in my life, that I was potentially taking drugs and that I seemed so disinterested and so miserable sitting in class every day. And my dad had to tell her that no, I wasn't taking drugs, I just really was incredibly disinterested in the school content that I was learning. This trend continued into college, and I ultimately ended up dropping out my sophomore year. The way that I dropped out was I was set to give a speech in my speech class, which was a required course for the degree that I was pursuing. And the day that I was supposed to give the speech had come, and I was absolutely dreading it. The idea of giving a speech in front of 20 to 30 people who were in my same age group and in my class, it was like absolute nightmare fuel for me. So I was set to give my speech. I was like the next person in line to give it. I asked to use the restroom, and once the teacher said yes, I gathered all my belongings, I left that classroom, and I never returned again. That was my last day of school. That was the last class I ever took. And quite honestly, I never looked back after that. So if there is anybody who understands the fact that college isn't for everybody, it is certainly me, because I am kind of the textbook definition of somebody that really struggled in school but has excelled in other aspects of life. Because of that, I fully believe that going the traditional 9-to-5 route is an excellent choice to go down, but it isn't for everybody, and there are amazing alternative career choices out there. And some of these jobs that we're going to be talking about today are jobs that you've absolutely heard of, but you probably didn't realize that they pay so incredibly well. And so with that, let's dig into the first job that I want to talk about today, and that is a general manager of a Walmart. Now, we all knew that this job exists. I think we all know that Walmart has general managers, but what I didn't realize is how much they get paid. And Walmart released a report last year in 2019 that stated that the average Walmart general manager makes about $175,000 per year. According to a handful of past job openings listed on the Walmart website, the job requirements for a GM of a Walmart is either a 4-year degree and 2 years of general management experience, or alternatively, you could potentially get this job with no degree with between 4 and 6 years of general management experience. So obviously this job is not one of those jobs that you can enter straight from high school and end up making $175K per year. year. But regardless of that fact, there is a real career path that can be pursued, but 175K is a lot of money in almost every single industry. So to think that you can get that with no degree by working your way up in Walmart is incredibly promising, and this is a potential career path for anybody who is willing to put in the work. Now, the downside of a GM of Walmart is the fact that your hours are going to be inconsistent, and you are also going to be required to work long hours. You're not going to be working just a simple 40-hour work week, and chances are you're going to have to work weekends and holidays. And for some people, that is a deal breaker. So this is definitely one of those non-traditional, non-9-to-5 jobs, but nonetheless, it is an excellent way to make a lot of money. Now, the next job that I want to talk about is on the same thought process as before, and that is a general manager position. But this one isn't with a retail store like Walmart. This is with a fast food restaurant, and it's one most of us have heard of, and that is a general manager of In-N-Out. And though there are conflicting reports of exactly how much the GM of an In-N-Out can make, the range seems to be about between $140,000 and $180,000 per year. And I'm sure that range depends on the gross number of sales of that individual In-N-Out location. According to In-N-Out's own website, it says that they typically promote general managers from within. They start out as regular associates and then become training managers, then assistant managers, then general managers. So you would really get to start out at just the floor level where they pay between $10 and $12 per hour. Now, I have heard really great things of In-N-Out from the standpoint that they oftentimes do hire within, meaning that if you get in the door and you do a good job, there is a lot of opportunity for promotion. Now, the downsides of this job are about the same as they would be with Walmart. You're going to be working long and odd hours. You're going to have to deal with a lot of teenage and young workers, which is a hard task in itself, and you're going to have to deal with customers all day, every day. These are all things that for some people may be a perfect scenario, but for others may be something that would be hard to deal with. Regardless of the fact, In-N-Out is an excellent job opportunity to pursue, especially if you're somebody who's willing to work your way up. You could start at In-N-Out at the age of like 16 or 17, and by the time you're in your mid to late 20s, you could potentially be at the GM position, making much more than the average American salary. The next career path that I want to talk about is sales, and this could include medical device sales, car sales, franchise sales, or any other sales that you can think of. Sales and salesmen often get a bad reputation for the fact that it is sometimes a slimy industry, but the fact is that sales is an excellent career path to pursue, especially if you have the type of personality that goes really well with this industry. But regardless of the poor reputation that sales and salesmen have, the fact of the matter is that sales is an excellent opportunity where you could absolutely make 6 figures per year. There are a variety of different types of sales that you can pursue depending on your interests and your background and your experience level. For me, for example, I am in franchise consulting, and part of that job is doing franchise sales as well. So I'm kind of on the more corporate side of sales, and thus I'm working from home. I'm working a traditional 9-to-5 with that company. I'm not really working weekends with them, and it's on a consulting basis. Whereas my boyfriend, for example, is a car salesman, and he is a salesman for the brand Lincoln. He is kind of more of that traditional salesman that I think so many people picture. He is that guy that goes up to you and asks what car you want to buy. He's working long hours. He is working nearly every day. In fact, the only holidays he gets off per year is Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it is incredibly hard and long hours. But the fact is that it is a great way to make a good income. And if you are the type of person that has a personality that goes along with sales, the amount of money that you could make is almost limitless. That is what I love about sales most, is that whenever you look at some of these other jobs we've discussed, things like a Walmart GM or an In-N-Out GM, there is a ceiling to how much you can make. You're not going to be making, $400K being a GM of a Walmart, but you could potentially make between $300 and $400K in sales depending on what type of sales industry you were in and how good you were at your job. Overall, though, I think that sales is an excellent career path, and depending on your personality and your drive, you can absolutely excel in this career, and you can easily make 6 figures if you are willing to put in the work. The next career path that I want to talk about is real estate brokers. Now, whenever it comes to real estate and the facilitation of buying and selling real estate, there are kind of two schools of thought. There is the residential realtor, which is that traditional realtor that so many of us think of whenever you are buying or selling a house. And on the flip side, there is the commercial real estate broker. And this is the same sort of thing, but instead of handling residential properties, they handle commercial properties. And they help facilitate the commercial landlord finding tenants for their commercial commercial space. An example of a real estate broker would be if I was a broker and I was working with a landlord in Dallas, I would help that landlord find a tenant like Chipotle or McDonald's or Qdoba or something go into their space. Real estate brokers and realtors are very similar in the structure of the business. You can have a real estate broker who is their own boss that works for themselves and they have their own brokerage company, similarly to how you can have that same thing with a realtor. The other way that you can do it is you can have a firm that you work for and that you represent, similar to like Keller Williams in the realtor business. With real estate brokers, unlike realtors where you make money based on the amount of properties that you sell, with brokers, you make money based off of the amount of leases that you sign. So with brokers in commercial real estate, oftentimes you're not selling the real estate, you're just leasing it out, and thus your income is determined by the leases that you sign, not by the properties that you sell. The great thing about real estate brokers, similarly to sales, is the fact that there is no income ceiling and there's really no limit to how much you can make. Depending on how hard you work and how good you are at your job, you could potentially make hundreds of thousands of dollars, not just $100,000. The other great thing about being a real estate broker is that you don't need a college degree. All you have to do is get your real estate license, which is a course and a process that you have to take, and then there's a test at the end, similar to how you would become a realtor as well. All in all, though, the amount of different ways that you can go about making 100K per year are virtually limitless. And the topics that I've talked about in this video are just the tip of the iceberg of different avenues that you could explore. And the fact is that there are a lot of different career paths that are directly correlated to how hard you work rather than your experience and your degree level. And if you can find a job and a career path that you are good at, that you're willing to work hard at, then there is no reason that you can't make 6 figures per year in that career. But you guys, I would love to hear your thoughts. If you have any other career paths or job suggestions that I didn't talk about, I would love to hear about it. So leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.